I have no problem with that. I don't care if they put 40 reporters digging up every facet, every phase of Donald Trump's life. I don't think there's been enough serious journalism about that. But while they're doing that, I wish Bob Woodward, for transparency reasons, would tell us how many reporters did he and his newspaper put on Barack Obama to look into every phase of his life when he was running for president of the United States. How many reporters are they going to put on Hillary Clinton's life so we could know every phase of what's going on in her life? How many reporters are they going to assign to the recent story that the administration either misled or lied to the American people about the Iran nuclear deal? There's a good rule of thumb to go by, Bill. Reporters will run over their own grandmothers to get a story on page one, but they will always salivate more when going after Republicans than going after Democrats whose values they share and whose opinions they share.
But it's pretty nakedly, I don't want to use the word corrupt, but let's say biased. Look, you got a Washington Post that's now run by Bezos, right? The big businessman. Yeah. So he owns it. Then you got this guy Barron, Marty Barron from the Boston Globe. He's the editor, right? Then you got this guy Fred Hiatt, an uber leftist, running the editorial page. Now, we here at The Factor deal with the Washington Post on hard news stuff. We put their reporters on all the time because it's pretty good. It's pretty accurate. And Woodward, we respect. All right, and we've had him on a lot here, and he's told the truth. But you're right, if they're going to throw 20 at Trump, they got to throw 20 at Hillary because Hillary's got a lot of unanswered questions.
And again, just to go back into history, if they're making the comparison that Donald Trump is an unknown quantity, but Hillary is a known quantity, which I don't believe she is, then the analogy to Barack Obama is a totally valid one. How many reporters did Bob Woodward? I don't want to make this just institutional with Washington Post. Bob Woodward is the one who said that. He should be asked, how many reporters are you
well, we're
and
going to ask him next week.
Go,
right.
Good. Ask him how many they assigned to the unknown Barack Obama to go into every phase of his life, to use Woodward's expression.
All right.
When he was running for president.
All valid.
I'll bet you it wasn't 20.
Goldberg and I are old school, which means we're boring, and we get our information primarily from organizations that have structure, like the Washington Post, although we're now questioning whether their structure is fair. Facebook is run by 25-year-olds who look like Wally Cleaver in Leave It to Beaver. All right? And those people, we now know, were shunning. There's the guy who did it. He was in charge of the opinion pieces appearing on Facebook. Doesn't he look a little bit like Wally? I think he does. Anyway, they were shunning a conservative opinion, all right, and loading it up with Media Matters is great, Black Lives Matters is superlative. And now the New York Times says Facebook is the most powerful news organization in the world.
Yeah, you made a mistake. Well, you may not have made a mistake, but you got it a little wrong, and that's the allegation. And it's an allegation that Facebook has denied. And the allegation very, very simply is this, that they looked at the stories that people were reading. That's how they determine their news feed. If you're reading stories online and they become popular, they go into your Facebook page newsfeed. And the allegation is that they were suppressing conservative stories and stories about conservative politicians and conservative points of view, and Facebook denies it. There's another allegation that they pumped up, the opposite of suppressed, a story about Black Lives Matter, even though it didn't have a lot of interest online.
They introduced it.
Pumped that up.
But I got to tell you, their defense...
For the record, Facebook denies that allegation,
Facebook's defense has been very, very weak. Because and they can fall back on this, these are what people want, and we're giving them to them, but that's bull. But anyway, we're watching Facebook, and they're not the most powerful news organization. We are. Bernie Goldberg, everyone. Water's on deck. He talks to younger Americans about Donald Trump. Don't miss it.